Sarda, yes, you can send me your test cases, but we are not going to review the test cases now in the batch, okay? So if you want me to review it, I think we are done with many of the test cases, but still if you want me to review some of the things for you, then like after the batch you can send me the mail and I can do so, okay? Okay, so I just want to know that how many people are there who are new to the batch for today? Okay, Santosh. And Kusuma is also new to the batch, but I can see she is like coming online and offline again and again. I guess there is some problem. She's not able to connect properly. Okay, so not an issue, but for today, the people who are new to the batch and also the people who were there in the previous batches. See, for today we would be taking the revision session, okay, for about an hour, so that we all are in the same boat, okay, and then we can start with the new things. So for about an hour, we will just revise the things what all we have done up till now, okay, and then we can move ahead with the other things. So the people who were already present in the batch, I would be expecting answers from you. Okay, so in this way you can also revise the sessions with me. Okay. Okay then. Okay, so first taking up the things of the SDLC. Okay, so what is SDLC and what are the phases of SDLC? Yes, anyone would like to try for it? Okay, Digin, that is system development life cycle. Okay, and what all are the phases in the system development life cycle? Okay, Malathi, scope identification, and I also got some answers from Santosh. Correct, Santosh? Okay, Peter. Mm-hmm. That's correct. Okay, see, the system development life cycle is a process that is SDLC. It is actually a process in which all the phases in which a software is developed into the IT industry, those phases are discussed. Okay, so that in short is known as your SDLC. Okay, so a process in which the software is developed in the IT industry, that process is known as the system development life cycle. Okay, now the first phase would be, see, whenever a client would be coming up into the company, IT company, asking for the software to be built for him. Okay, so the first question that would be asked to the client is what all things he wants in his software. Okay, so basically we are asking him that what are his requirements. Okay, so we are asking him that what are his requirements from the software, what all things does he want. Okay, so he'll give us a set of requirements. Okay, and these set of requirements, they are taken by the client by the BA people. Okay, the BA people are the business analyst people. Okay, see, as I told you, not every person who is present in the industry would be coming up to the client or would be interacting with the client asking for the requirements. Okay, there would be some specialized set of people only who would be dealing with the clients, okay, who would be taking out the requirements from the clients, and those set of people are the BA people, that is the business analyst people. Okay, because they know the business in the best way. So that is why they are given the technical term as the business analyst, because what all requirements are given by the clients, it is not necessary that all the requirements are taken up by the IT team. Okay, he may ask for some random requirements or like some out of the world requirements also to be built in the software. Okay, so these people, they know the business in the best way, so they will help him out with the things. So these all requirements are taken down by the business analyst people. Then these requirements are jotted down in a document, and that document is known as the BRD. Okay, that is the business requirement document. Okay, once, like I told you, that not all the requirements are taken up. Okay, so after the mutual understanding that what all requirements are to be taken up in this software, then a document is prepared. Sorry. So that document is known as the BRD document. Okay, because you have to write down all the things in the document so that in future the client cannot come up to you asking that, saying that you have not completed the requirements that I have given to you. So you must be having a set of BRD with you, which must be having the set of the requirements that you have agreed upon. Okay, clear with this thing? Then after that comes the plan and the analysis phase. What happened, Sardar? You're hearing some background music?
Hello, Vidya?
Yeah, hi Sardar. I'm not playing.
Yeah, no, I'm getting some music, Vidya. I don't know what is that. Like I'm not able to concentrate on your class. I don't know why.
Okay, let me see if anyone is unmute.
On, I think so. I don't know because it's disturbing me a lot.
Okay, is this the case with anyone else also? Are you hearing some music? Because Sardar, I'm not playing any music over here.
Oh, no. That like they say, no, like check your sound, something like that. So the same thing is continuing. I don't know why.
Then you must go to your audio and check for the things, right?
I'm going there, but it is not like it's not giving me any option to stop the sound. I don't know why, because even the screen is also changed from past time, because that time it used to be a little bit different. This time it's the screen is new.
Yeah, this time we are now using the GoToMeeting, right?
Oh, okay. So how can I stop over there the sound? I don't know.
For that, Sarda, you have to go on to your audio. So you must be having an audio option over there.
Oh yeah, so this sound check setup and take. Okay, let me see, and I'll call you. If I need some help, I'll ask you again. Okay?
Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you. Hello?
Yeah. Okay, Sarda.
Yeah.
Okay. So the second phase is the plan and the analysis phase. Once the requirements they are finalized, or in technical terms when you say that these requirements they are baselined, okay, and are written down in the BRD, then the next phase comes into the scene, that is the plan and the analysis. See now over here we have the set of requirement with us. Okay, now on to the set of those requirements we need to plan that how are we going to implement all these requirements in the software. Okay, what should be our plan and how much people we would be needing, that is how, what should be the manpower, what should be the budget. Okay, then also we need to do some analysis, like while implementing the requirements there are some risk analysis which are done. Okay, now risk analysis means what? While implementing the requirements, it is not all it is not always the case that you can implement all the requirements very easily. Okay, see what I'm trying to say is, suppose say in the BRD, okay, some set of requirements are given, okay, and some, for now suppose say only some 4 requirements are given to you. Okay, now up to 2 requirements it is easy to develop the software, but if you go on implementing the third requirement, okay, so you will be able to implement this third requirement, but as soon as you go and implement this fourth requirement, okay, implement the fourth requirement means when you develop the software for this fourth requirement, this third requirement, it may get impacted. Okay, this is just a very simple example that I'm giving. Okay, so there is a possibility that the fourth requirement that you are implementing may affect the third requirement which is already built in a negative manner. Okay, so all those risk analysis is also done. Okay, then after that the design is created. Okay, now over here while doing the risk analysis, you also, okay, we have come up to a point like we know that while implementing the fourth requirement the third would get affected. Okay, we are not sure about it 100%, but we are saying that it may get affected. Okay, now over here if it is getting affected, then what should be the alternative method, or what should be the alternate for it? You have to think for the alternate also. If it is not getting affected, it's easy and you can go step by step, but what if it is getting affected? So you have to think of the alternate things also, or the alternate methods also, how to implement it. So this is done in this second phase, the planning and the risk analysis phase. Okay, then after that, and this is usually done by your PM, that is the project manager, okay, and along with the BA people, because as I said that these people are the people who know much about the business, okay, how it works. And over here we have the planning also, so the business analyst people would be required over here, that what should be the budget that we should charge, okay, how much we should charge the client for the things. Okay, so now after the things are done in the risk and the plan and the analysis phase, then comes the architect who is going to create the design. Okay, that is the flow is created. Flow of the software, that after which module which should be coming, or like if I am getting logged in into the page, then what should be the first page that should appear. Okay, then after that if I'm clicking on to some link, then after that where should I get navigated. Okay, and if I want to log out, so this means that all the flow of the software, it is designed over here in this phase. Therefore, it is known as the design phase, and this is done by the architect PP. Okay. Then once the design is created, it is being reviewed, then comes the development phase, wherein the developers, they would be involved. Okay, and they would start creating the software depending upon the design. Okay, now once the software is developed, it is being given to the testing team, and over here QA testers are involved. Okay, now they will start testing that whether the things which are developed by the clients are working properly or not. Okay, now here comes one more important thing, that while testing the things, you don't have to look into the code and test. Okay, now suppose say while testing the software, you feel that the software is not working properly. Okay, there is some defect in the software. Then it is not your responsibility, or it is not your duty to look into the code and see that where the problem is and how you can rectify it. Okay, these are not your things that you need to do. Okay, so QA testers, their duty is only to test the software depending upon the requirements. Okay, always remember that you need to test the software depending upon the requirements only. Okay, and as I told you, those requirements will be written down in the BRD. Okay, so you will be given the copy of the requirements. You have to test depending upon those requirements, that whether the requirements which were given by the client are fulfilled or not. Okay, and if they are fulfilled in a correct way or not. So this is what QA testers, they have to do. Okay, they do not have to look into the code, no coding part, no analyzing that where the defect is and how you can rectify it. This is not your duty. Okay, your duty is only to find out the defect if there is any. Okay, test the software, find out if there is any defect, and if there is a defect, report it to the developer. Okay, then the another thing that I want to tell you about the QA testers is why they are named as QA. Okay, QA means what? Quality assurance. Now what does this term mean is, what does this term mean? That you are the people who would be assuring the quality of the software. Okay, now why I am saying this? Because if you are doing the testing in a correct way and in a very appropriate manner, okay, then you would be able to find out more and more defects. Okay, and if you are able to find out more and more defects, so you are going to report it to the developer. The developer will fix it. Okay, and in this way the quality of the software is going to be good. Okay, so that is why you are known as the quality assurance, because you are the people who would be assuring that whether the quality of the software which is being delivered to the client is good or not. If you are testing it in a proper manner and you are able to find out the defects, so in that way the quality of the software would be good. Okay, which would be delivered to the clients. And if you are not able to find out that the defects and you have delivered the software to the clients, okay, and then over there they find out the defects while using the software, then that would be a low quality software. Okay, so that would degrade the quality. Okay, so that was like why we people are known as the quality assurance people. Okay, now once the testing is done, if we say that yes, the software is good to go, okay, then the release is done. Okay, you will release the software to the clients. Okay, now once the release are done, Now under while releasing the software, all the people are involved. Okay, so this is like a combined effort. Then after that comes the maintenance phase. Okay, now in the maintenance phase, what will happen? Once the software is released, okay, though you have done a lot of testing, but believe me, you will practically, it is not possible to deliver 100% defect free software. Okay, and this is because due to n number of reasons, because it may be like your budget for testing is over. Okay, so you are not able to now test the inner functionalities. Okay, you have to stop. If the budget is over and the client is not agreeing upon to pay us more, so we won't test the software, right? Then after that, there could be some points like the deadline for the testing is over. Okay, then we have to release it, because there are certain deadlines also which are given to each and every phase. Okay, and that would be over here in the, those all things are decided over here in the plan phase. Okay, so either the budget is over or the deadline has come. Okay, or if we have reached up to a point that we can deliver a software, we have checked it up to some 70-80%. Okay, so there is some optimum point also to which we have tested the software. Okay, and now if we can deliver it. Okay, so there are certain like areas in which you will have to stop testing. Okay, then you won't be able to check the 100% software, and this is the reason you can't deliver 100% defect free product to the market and to the client. Okay, so when you are not checking it to the 100%, there could be some defects, which could be some minor issues, not the major functionality defects, but there could be some minor issues which would be coming up to the client. Okay, when he is using the software. Okay, so that would be taken care under the maintenance phase, because the word maintenance all itself means that you are taking care of the previously done things. Okay, if there are some issues, so you are maintaining it. Or if suppose say like now, previously in the BRD there were only 4 requirements. Okay, now after a period of time, the client wants a set of new requirements. Okay, he has given some 3 more requirements of the same project. So that would also be taken care under the maintenance phase. Okay, so that is if there are some minor issues, or if there are some upgradations to be done. Okay, so all these things are taken care under the maintenance phase. So this is all about your SDLC. Clear with it? Yes, these all are the phases of your SDLC. Okay, I have got a question over here. Okay, Preeti, does testing start parallelly along with the development? Yes, it would. Okay, or I would say like it would start right from the BRD phase. Like once the BRD is created, okay, then you can start preparing for the testing parallelly with the other phases. Okay, and that all things we will discuss later on. But for the initial